Suicide Squad. Oh boy. So Suicide Squad takes place a few months after the events of Batman vs Superman. The world is in remorse for the loss of a certain character that I don't want to spoil for you. And in this time of remorse, Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis, a lady whose job is basically to keep America safe whatever means necessary. And by that, she decides to round up the toughest and strongest people she knows. However, these very strong individuals happen to be incarcerated and have very bad agendas on their plate. Still, they are forced against their will to participate in this team by having bombs implanted in their necks set to go off if they decide to go AWOL on the mission. And that's all I'll pretty much say without giving any spoilers to you guys. This is a non-spoiler review. I don't want to spoil the film for you. I'll just basically give you what I really liked in the film, what I didn't like, and then I'll hit you with a rating system much like this one, except of course filled out to the preference of this film. Now this is the third film in the DC Cinematic Universe, and this is actually the first film that is not directed by good old Zack Snyder. And this one we have a lot of hope. We're thinking it's going to be the best one out of all the three. And of course the film is getting critically bombed to an enormous standpoint. And I happen to agree just a little bit. Now films like this is the reason my rating system exists. Because I pride myself on the three type of moviegoers that go out to watch movies: the casual viewer, the cinephile, and the critic. Now these type of moviegoers have different opinions when it comes to movies in every film. And so far we've seen that cinephiles and critics never agree on a DC Cinematic Universe movie. Rotten Tomatoes has Man of Steel listed at a 55, Batman vs Superman is listed at 27, and now Suicide Squad sits at a 33. Yet we have an enormous and abundance of fans out there outraged, yelling, petitioning to have Rotten Tomatoes shut down, all because they are bashing a film that they love as fans. But I'll go into some of the things I didn't like. I want to go into some of the things I really did like about Suicide Squad because there are so many redeeming qualities in this film. Some of the big positives come from some of the cast members. Not all of them shine, but a lot of them do in the movie. A big standout that I'm very glad went all the way through is Will Smith's character. Now, Will Smith plays Deadshot, and anybody who knows Deadshot, you know he is a mercenary for hire. He never misses a shot, and he always completes his mission as long as you pay him beforehand. And I've missed this type of Will Smith on screen. This is the Will Smith I've been wanting to see for years. The one who's not afraid to curse, who'd be loudmouth. He came off funny, he came off natural. It didn't feel like Will Smith playing some sort of Will Smith side character. It felt like he was giving it all in this Deadshot character, and I really appreciated that. And if they have him go on to be in any future Batman sequels, I would very much like that. Second big standout is Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie, and man, they nailed this character to the T. Now, Harley Quinn's character comes straight from the animated series. She is not an original comic book character, but it's literally like they pulled her out of the cartoon and put her in the movie because she is perfect. She's exactly what I would think Harley Quinn would be in real life or in these situations. She's quirky, goofy, and very sexy at the same time. I'm very happy Margot Robbie understood this character and gave it the respect it needed. I was very happy with the portrayal of Harley Quinn. Third standout cast member for me, and this one is actually a surprise, is Diablo. Now, just like many of us when we heard Suicide Squad was coming out, we had to do a little bit of research because we weren't all that familiar with it. And of course, I went down the list and I saw the character of Diablo that was going to be in the film. And I read up on his backstory and who he's all about, his powers, and I thought, okay, I guess this will be interesting to watch. I don't think he'll have that big of a part in the film. But Jay Hernandez, the actor playing Diablo, was able to bring a real human quality to Diablo. He's a character I wasn't expecting to get emotionally connected to throughout the film, and I ended up really liking. His character is sort of that type of guy who gets reborn in prison, to where he finds God, even though ironically his name is Diablo. He's a guy you care about who just wants to be good, but is put in a situation where he has to be bad. Other cast members in the film just have little tidbits to them that I enjoyed through the film. There weren't any big standouts like the ones I just mentioned, but some of the few, like Killer Croc, he was very threatening at times. He didn't get a whole lot to do. He didn't even talk all that much, but when he did and when it was his time to shine, he did a good job with that. And this time, Jai Courtney, who plays Captain Boomerang, finally looks like he was sinking his teeth into an actual character. The guy was funny, witty, and you believed he was menacing and evil in a sort of dorky way. And honestly, if they bring Captain Boomerang in any of the Flash movies, I would be so happy with that because he did a good job in this film. Other positives in the film include the humor. This one is actually a lot funnier. It's probably the funniest film in the DC Cinematic Universe. It wasn't very jokey, but there were a lot of jokes, more than I was used to in a DC film. And I like that. I like that there was jokes, that there was humor, that there was levity to the situation. They didn't overplay it. They didn't maybe underplay it. There weren't that many jokes, but when they did, they landed and they were well done. The film is actually also very action-packed. It almost hits the ground running as soon as it starts. It goes from 0 to 100 really quick. And honestly, I sat back thinking it doesn't get slow until they get to the bar, which is almost in the third act. And that's saying something because the film is always doing something, always moving along. Whether you like it or not, it is doing something that is keeping your eyes on the screen and not bored. The film, just like much of the marketing material and the posters and the trailers, is very glowing and beautiful to look at. I like the color schemes done. I like the slow motion visual effects. I like the way they did the action scenes. So David Ayer is almost the same as Zack Snyder, but I would still rank Zack Snyder way up here when it comes to visuals. David Ayer did do a good job, and he pulled off some really nice visuals in the film, but not to Zack Snyder levels. The soundtrack in the film was also nicely done. It's not like a Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack where every song fits in perfectly to the film and it's almost very smooth. And this one, some of the songs sort of stuck out, but they were enjoyable songs and they sort of went with the moments. And anytime a movie can put in an Eminem song, it's got my vote. Last thing I wasn't sure if I could mention, but it's in some of the marketing materials and it's been in the trailers. Any scene that includes Batman in this film, because Batman is in the movie, is awesome. That's all I'll say. It's awesome. And that's all the positives I basically have for Suicide Squad. I found it very entertaining. I like some of the stuff in the film, but when watching it, I really did understand why it's at a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. Starting off with some of the negatives, man, I was so surprised. I knew all these bad reviews were coming in. I knew all this hate was coming, but I was still so excited for this film. I thought there's no way this could fail. The marketing was amazing. I like the cast. The new Joker is an award-winning actor, Jared Leto. There was no way it could have gone wrong. And then I'm watching the film and I'm liking it, I'm enjoying it. 7 minutes in, it's like I'm having a Vietnam flashback. No, Batman. Stop, Superman. I didn't say Martha. And my heart sank and I was just going, oh no, please don't let this be true. But it was, and some of the negatives have to do with the editing. Editing has become the biggest kryptonite in the DC Cinematic Universe. I don't know who is editing all these films, but they need to do a lot better job, or at least be monitored when they're editing these films. Because there are a lot of sloppy cuts, sloppy jumps to certain things. It messes with the rhythm and the flow of the film. Another negative for me is they heavily marketed the Joker being in this film, when honestly he's only in it to 15 to 20 minutes, which might sound like a lot, but every scene he's in, he's not in that scene for longer than maybe 3 to 4 minutes. And I would have loved to have told you how I felt about the Joker, but honestly, since he was that scarce in every scene, I didn't get a good feel of who his character really was as this new Joker. Right when I was starting to understand what his character of the Joker was like, his mannerisms, his way of playing, they would cut to something else. And then when you cut back to the Joker, it's like starting from the bottom and he elevates and he elevates and before he's gonna explode, they cut. I still have high hopes for this Joker. I do think they're gonna use him in later films, especially in the Batman films. But unfortunately, from what I saw in Suicide Squad, there wasn't enough of him for me to truly go, I like this new Joker. I think he's awesome. Say what you will about his appearance, but it all comes down to his acting, and his acting was passable. Honestly, there's nothing new to this Joker. I might get a lot of hate for this, but honestly, his Joker, as of right now, from the 20 to 15 minutes I saw him on the screen, was a Cesar Romero on steroids who got a lot of tattoos. And I'm not trying to hate on Jared Leto. He's a very respectable actor and a very talented one. I thought he was the perfect choice to be the new Joker. But from what we got to see, it wasn't convincing enough for me to fully like and enjoy this new Joker. His interactions with Harley and Batman, definitely amazing, but they're just cut so short. You don't get a real good feel of what his character's like. Another negative of the film is the villain. The overall villain just, I don't know, just didn't sit right with me. It's like, why is this the all-out bad guy for the Suicide Squad? And the next complaint having to do with the bad guy is the complaint we've been saying forever, even in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Where are all the other heroes? We know one big hero is definitely dead and not around, but you still have a Batman, you have a Wonder Woman, you have a Flash. We know these three characters definitely exist within this time frame, and they're nowhere to be found when this catastrophic, world-threatening event is going on. It just really itched my buttons. I felt like they could have done with a smaller type villain, a secret mission that nobody knew about, that they have to go out and save, maybe a bomb that's gonna explode, something that Batman, Wonder Woman, or Flash wouldn't hear about on the news 10 seconds while it's going on. And there's a bunch of other big iffies with me that I can't mention because it'll be a big spoiler for you in the film. There is a lot wrong with Suicide Squad, but what I figured out from watching all these DC Universe movies is that DC isn't trying to make films for the critics. They're trying to make movies for the fans. And as of right now, they're enjoyable and entertaining to watch for fans. There are definitely a lot of tidbits and little things that go on in the film that make me so happy and smile real big. Things like when Harley Quinn says puddin', when she interacts with the Joker, when you have Batman show up, when you have a reference to another superhero out in the world, when you pay homage to certain characters or costumes that are in previous comics or material throughout the past. Things like that make me very happy. But then you have chunks and chunks of scenes that make you angry and want to just yell at somebody for, why did you put this on screen? I'm very disappointed with what came out with Suicide Squad, but in the end, there is enough, good enough stuff for you to go out and watch this film. There's enough good in it worth your ticket at the movie theater. And I guess that's the best compliment I can say right now. Hopefully if they come out with a sequel, they can just do a better job. But guys, honestly, those are just my thoughts on Suicide Squad. Sorry if this was a long video. I just had so much on my mind and so much more I wanted to say, but I didn't want to spoil this film for you. Please go out and watch it. Don't think I'm hating DC. I love DC. I just set high expectations every time for these films, hoping they're going to pan out. But as of right now, they're not really panning out. I still have high hopes, and I still think the cinematic universe could fall through and survive somehow. It is really now all up to Wonder Woman. If Wonder Woman fails, then I honestly don't know what's going to happen to the DC Cinematic Universe. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you thought of Suicide Squad. Please, if you think I'm wrong on something, tell me. Let me know. Don't just fight me on it. Give me reasoning why you think it is amazing. Because I do think some of the things were amazing, but not everything. As always, guys, I'm Chris, and I leave you with a 3C film review. Take care.